Welcome back. It is the second week of March Madness. It is Bust Picks. I'll say it, brackets busted. Welcome to Bust Picks. We bust brackets.
I'll say if your bracket wasn't busted, we'd be running in the streets crying at the moment.
So fun fact for you.
Yeah.
How many perfect brackets are there?
I think left?
There's 10 left.
I was going to say, I thought there was like 14 last I saw.
No, there's 10 perfect brackets left. One bracket, which I think is more impressive.
Sure.
0 correct games won.
See, that's harder to do.
That's way more
because
impressive.
You're getting the upsets wrong.
Correct.
Like, that is impressive.
So it's so sick.
I take the firm argument in any schooling. If you could get a 0, like answer every question but get a 0, you deserve 100 points because that's even harder.
I think you get equivalent to whoever did second best.
Yes, I would completely agree.
That's
for multiple choice
important,
and you're getting everything wrong.
Yeah,
that's
at that point they're like he's dodging these.
It feels like it, right? Like you have to know the answer to get it wrong.
Don, give me a fact of the day.
Fact of the day. So today is the 27th anniversary of Bloody Wednesday.
What is Bloody Wednesday?
Or also known as Fight Night at the Joe.
What's Fight Night at the Joe?
Where the Avalanche and Red Wings got into one of the bloodiest fist fights in NHL history.
It was bad?
There was spots of blood dripping all over the ice.
I love it. 9
different fights breaking out in one game.
Oh, that's sick.
Including one of them where the other guy had to have multiple referees. So basically where it came down to was Claude Lemieux gave a dirty hit the previous season in the playoffs for the Western Conference Finals. Claude Lemieux hits Chris Draper from behind.
So it was on site.
Yeah, Draper goes down and goes head first into the boards. Had to get his jaw wired shut, multiple stitches. It could have been a lot worse.
I mean, it sounds agonizing and terrible.
Yeah.
But those hockey players are probably like, "Oh, brother, we're having a great time. This is just us getting out on the ice and having a good time with the."
It was fight on site. Like they played 3 more. They played
on site.
So the Avalanche ended up winning in 6 games in the Western Conference. Went on to win the Stanley Cup after that hit.
I love it.
Next time they go into the Joe, which is the Red Wings home stadium, Red Wings lay it down. Well, not the next time. They played a few games, but right before playoffs. Red Wings used bulletin board material, put up wanted posters with Claude Lemieux's face on it. Went and got him. He was the snot beaten out of him. Multiple guys had to pull Darren McCaffrey off of him. Because he just like even when he was down, he was just starting kneeing him in the face.
Just getting him.
That
sounds insane.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch this happen.
Red Wings go on, win the cup. Fight the next season in 98. Red Wings go on to win the cup. Both of those times you had goalie fist fights in the game too.
Dude, the goalie fist fights are so sick too. They meet in the middle of the ice and they just start duking it.
And then this is where my betting tip comes in with this.
There's a betting tip.
Third time in this rivalry that there is another fight of this nature, like this size, 2002, where the Red Wings go on to win the cup after the fight. So all 3 times there's this big knockout fight between the Red Wings and the Avalanche. Red Wings have gone out to win the cup at the end of the season.
Are you saying that if we get another huge fight
between these 2 teams,
bet the Red Wings?
Bet the Red Wings to go win the Stanley Cup.
I love it. Bet futures on the. We have Red Wings Watch now.
Red Wings Watch.
Red Wings Watch is officially on. If we watch Red Wings start throwing blows like early 80s or mid-late to 80s Mike Tyson.
Only to the Colorado Avalanche.
Only to the Colorado Avalanche. Who's a good team.
Great team. They ran the 90s, and Avalanche are doing great now.
You've been finding great edges lately. I love it.
That's what I'm trying to dig out.
Let's go marching. We're going to recap everything that happened the first weekend of March Madness, make some predictions for the next thing. Let's go marching. I want to talk about a few things. First thing I want to talk about is the most impressive team to you in the tournament so far. A team that's been like, wow, this has been really, really fun watching this team. I'm impressed with what they've been able to do.
For me, it was James Madison. They
picked
were
a losing team as your most impressive.
They got out the first round, which I did not think that they were going to be able to do.
Beat Wisconsin.
They beat Wisconsin. I thought Wisconsin, being the blue blood school, they have been hot consistently throughout the season.
Wisconsin disappointed so much.
They disappointed so bad.
Yeah.
And I was surprised James Madison, even in round 2 where they got knocked out, they still hung in that game a lot more than I thought. They still were scrappy. I give a lot of credit to that team.
I don't think there was a second in that game because I bet James Madison for the Duke game. I was sitting there and I was like, "This is dead." This immediately the game started and I was like,
"No, Duke. I bet Duke the wrong took control."
Side. They took control. They never got close.
It wasn't close, but it was never a blowout.
Correct. It was always within like 12, and 12, 15.
That's not a lot for college.
James Madison could get hot, hit a couple threes, and then it's
the fact that they're able to hang around. I was like, okay, for a school I completely dismissed at the beginning of the tournament. They proved me wrong. I'm impressed.
My most impressive team was NC State, which is a lot of people's most impressive team. NC State, last weekend I went to Vegas for the conference tournaments.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, and NC State kept popping up, and I kept betting against them because they had a bad record, and their head coach almost got fired at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Which I love because he's the one who's still coaching.
Correct. And now he's
not being paid by the school anymore. He's just doing it for the love of the game.
And he's now gotten to keep his job.
Yep.
He's now won the SEC tournament, was able to get a bid, was able to win two games in March Madness, which is really, really hard. This tournament is tough. Every team in this tournament is good. Like, even Virginia. Yeah, sure. We'll say Virginia's okay.
Virginia's tough. I mean, there was no 100% easy
Howard,
school.
Wagner, those teams maybe, but
but still, they
NC State has been able to show hey, off the back of really good players, we are going to go. We're going to smash you in the face. We have a center that's approximately 350 pounds. He's going to punch you in the face, and then he's going to hit you with little soft hand layups.
His finesse near the hoop
is crazy.
Is next level.
Crazy. That's been my most impressive team. Dom, what's been your most disappointing team?
I mean, you have to give it to Kentucky, right?
Okay.
That was just
First, I chose the entire SEC.
Yeah, no, the SEC has completely
it's
disappeared.
Auburn, first round exit.
Yep.
Number 2 seed. Kentucky, 3 seed, first round exit. Florida, 9 seed, first round exit. No, 7 seed, first round exit. And Mississippi State, an 8 seed, first round exit.
Yeah.
That's 4. Not to mention Texas A&M, they were a 9 seed. They're out now too.
Yeah, they got bounced.
The only ones left are Alabama,
which has a tough matchup.
And I'm missing someone, but it's Alabama and Tennessee. Those are the only 2 left.
And I think Tennessee could go. I like Tennessee a lot.
I like Tennessee a lot, and we'll talk about them later. But
the fact that you got, 8 SEC schools in?
8 SEC schools in, but only 4 were able to beat teams, and one of them lost to Oakland. It's insane.
Yeah, it's very disappointing.
An Oakland team that when we were doing our brackets last week, we were like, it's Oakland. What do they got? Well, we're going to talk about what they got later.
Yeah.
But the SEC disappointed me to a whole nother level.
Completely agree there.
Yeah. And the ACC, shout out to the ACC. Very impressive.
They showed out. They're showing out so far.
Don, who's the stars of the first week of March Madness?
I mean, the kid at NC State, I'm forgetting his name. He's shown up. I love
David.
Keep talking. No, Davis. You have to give it to Milky Cream Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Nerdy Bird.
Nerdy Bird.
Call him? Damn, I forget his name.
But I love the fact that ESPN has jumped on it and has when they show him on the floor, gives him the nicknames next to him. He's that's amazing.
They've quickly DJ Burns, by the way.
DJ Burns. State. There we go.
DJ Burns, superstar. I love everything he's doing.
Yeah.
There's a couple players in this tournament that I love. There's one player that I absolutely adore. He lost. Golke, the 3-point shooting expert from Oakland.
Yes.
All he did is shoot threes.
But this guy was on fire.
And he didn't want the easy threes. He just wanted contact off of someone's body and just nail them. He wanted the toughest shots in the toughest spots. He's a March Madness legend.
What wasn't it at one point he had over 50% field goal percentage only shooting 3-pointers?
There was a point where he had 10 3-pointers on 3 dribbles. That's insane. He dribbled 3 times and hit 10 3-pointers.
You got to give him a G League contract on something like that.
He said he's going to go play in Europe and figure things out. He's probably he'll be fine.
He'll do great in Euroball.
Maybe, or all he does is shoot threes. He does not. He doesn't even start. Like, it's crazy.
But you don't need him if you're a specialist like that. Like, I mean, late career Robert Ory made a living off that.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to make the comparison, but I'm saying that there has been a need for that in certain situations. So having a specialist, not a bad idea.
I do want to look at the other tournaments happening, the women's bracket.
Yes.
Audie Crooks, she's been the center from Iowa State, has been playing out of her mind. She dropped 40 points.
The fact that you're pulling name off Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, oh,
and, like, on the same, but on the same, like, it's great to see.
Women's basketball is just as good as the men's tournament this year, if not better. They have more stars, they have more personalities.
I think they're having more personality than
I think their strength in teams probably isn't as high as the men's division.
They're very top heavy.
But they're top. That's kind of what you want for a tournament. You kind of want these collision courses of Goliaths getting ready to go to the final
and that's
four.
What I'm excited for.
It's going to be insane. I'm super excited for it.
These are going to be some of the scrappiest games, I think, like most competitive shootouts.
What has been your favorite team to watch over the first weekend of March Madness? I can give you mine.
Okay.
My favorite has been Oregon. I loved watching Oregon play basketball. I loved everything they were doing. They were pretty much running their entire team out of 2 players' efficiency. They were just like doing everything out of 2 guys, Dante and forgot the other guy, but it was really, really fun. Oakland, because of Golke, because of what they were able to do.
100%.
A team that's still in it. I love what Tennessee does.
I like Tennessee as well. I'm a fan of Houston personally.
Do you like the way Houston plays basketball?
I do, but that's just because that's how I played a lot. So like I understand
just
it
that
a little
rough.
bit more. Yeah, like I enjoy that a lot. But I also am a big fan of how Creighton's been doing. Like I like that kind of.
You like the shooting? You like the gotta shoot till I die type of thing?
I like how they're running it for some reason. Just something about. Like just seeing them like
I do love
like quick tempo, but it's not bad shots. It's not the 7-second or less huck the ball up. Yeah. It feels like they're taking high percentage shots at the same time. I feel like that's a good blend of basketball
when
that
they're
I enjoy
hot,
watching.
Creighton is smashing 3-pointers and they're
Yes.
playing really well, and they do have like good defense when they get in the right position.
When they close it down.
They do have like the tendency to like get out of position, but like Creighton is really, really good. I'm really excited to see what they're going to have. Everyone has a tough tournament, but they have a very, very tough
they
schedule.
got a hard line from here on out, 100%.
I will say, what are the teams you are hoping make a longer run in this NCAA tournament? Teams that you're like, I kind of want to see them get to the Final Four.
I'm going to say this, but because of my bracket, because of pools I'm in, I have to say UConn.
No.
But like, I have to like by default.
Okay,
and I hate that. Like, I hate that I have to say that.
1-1. I hope the 1-1 gets all the way there.
Yeah,
brackets are dead by now
because there's money on the line still.
I'm
outside of that.
I want NC. My bracket's done.
Yeah. NC State would be amazing to see them make the run.
Gonzaga would be awesome to see in a Final Four.
I'm still partial to San Diego State.
They have to beat UConn. So
I know they have to beat
you're
UConn.
hedging. I see it.
Well, no, it's not even
I see
hedging.
what you're doing. I see what you're like. I have a lot of money on UConn. But if they lose, I wouldn't be that devastated. San Diego State, yeah.
Well, no, because I called them from the first round. I've had that they were going to make it at least.
You did pick
far.
the 5 seed, yes. The team that made the Final Four last year, you did pick.
Because I think it was disrespectful that they put them in the 5 seed. I think that they deserve.
They lost their conference tournament to one of the most disappointing teams. I didn't write down, but New Mexico really got me good. Really got me good. They got a lot of people good.
Yeah, they did. They fooled a lot, but that's I think that they're a stronger team.
Yeah, they are a stronger team.
5 seed.
Gonzaga was another team I really want to see make a run to the Final Four. It would be kind of ironic that this is probably Gonzaga's quietest year, not having a superstar like Chet or Drew Timme on the roster. Mm-hmm. They're making this run right now, and seeing them get to a Final Four. Also, this program has now made 9 straight years of getting to the Sweet 16, and people still talk down on Gonzaga. I get it; they haven't won a national title,
but that's fine. But if you're making it this consistent, it just takes a little extra one season to make the deep.
You have hope every year. That's all you have to root for.
In
as
sports, a fan,
you just
I would
want to be in the dance.
I would love that as a fan. Imagine
Sweet 16 every year.
Your NFL team, you're guaranteed a Western Conference final. or Western Conference Championship.
That's a lot.
You're going to lose it.
Maybe a divisional championship.
You got
That's
hope.
the equivalent.
I would love that. I would
I'd
love
sign
that.
up for getting. Well, that's the Bills. Would you sign up to be the Bills right now? It's different when you do that, huh?
I don't, not last season's Bills, but the prior years, yeah.
It's the same Bills team.
No, because
problem.
because coming into playoffs, I feel like with Stephon not playing up to par, there wasn't really that same level of hope.
That's so disrespectful to put that on Stephon.
No, but he was the number one receiver on the roster. The passing game just wasn't there too well. Like what, Gabe Davis? You had Kincaid,
who's playing great.
And you
Dawson
had
Knox
Knox,
playing good.
but
James Cooks is a good weapon out
the backfield. But I just felt like the offense wasn't explosive to the same level.
We're not allowed to say that and then go look at the Chiefs who won a Super Bowl and be like,
Well, the Chiefs got there because of the dominating defense.
And they had enough offense to win games.
Yeah, just enough.
Yeah. The Final Four, your pick for the next Final Four, are you going to ride to the same Final Four?
I feel like I have to.
I'm there too. I'm pretty much UConn, Arizona, Houston, Tennessee.
Yeah, that feels like the good Final Four. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Creighton or Gonzaga in there. I feel it would add that wild card element.
I would like NC State in there too. They've won 7 straight games. They're the hottest team in the tournament technically, and UConn's won a lot of games straight too. But
out of the outside top 4, I would love one of those guys. I wouldn't mind sprinkling a small bet here and there for an upset, but.
I think it's chalky.
It feels very chalky, and I don't like it.
Those having a bunch of 1 seeds in the Final Four is not bad. It's blue bloods. It's brands people recognize. It's players people are going to be seeing in the future in the NBA. I think it's really good.
I think it's good for the exposure of the sport. It's not as good that you don't get that same story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get the emotional pull.
But like last year, we had a bunch of emotional pulls, and then we got to the Final Four, and we were like, do we really want to watch San Diego State and FAU and all the
true. It feels like a correction year.
Let's get UConn. Let's get the North Carolinas. Houston's kind of like a strange team, but like let's get the Houstons in there too. Like why not?
Sure.
I want to move on to our next segment. It is the never too late news. We're going to break down some of the news topics we've missed this week, and the biggest news topic we haven't covered is I didn't wear a Dodger jersey on purpose. It's Shohei Ohtani. Don. I've been blind to this story out of pure negligence, out of pure.
I feel like it's purposeful.
It's more of like I wanted to. Here's what I know.
Okay.
His interpreter was gambling under his name. That's what I think I know. That's what I. And now I'm going to give you the floor, and you're going to explain it to a Dodger fan. What the hell is happening with Shohei Ohtani?
His interpreter was taking Ohtani's money and gambling with it under Ohtani's name.
Okay.
So. Interpreter's now been fired from the Dodger organization.
Fantastic.
MLB is now investigating the possibility of Ohtani betting through his interpreter.
Just the MLB?
The MLB and the Dodgers are the only ones who have officially announced investigations. Realistically, we're probably going to get some law enforcement looks.
Okay.
But that, as far as I know, as of recording, there hasn't been any official statements made. And then Ohtani has then made a statement publicly afterwards saying, like, I've never bet in my life. I do not bet. That is not me. I do not gamble.
Okay. I saw, like, he had a press conference,
yes,
and he was going to come out and, like, say a bunch of stuff. Now, off the record, let's just pretend.
This is speculation.
Okay,
this
right.
is as a fan. We don't know anything beyond what's been made public in these circumstances.
Can I ask you on your public, like your own private opinion?
Allegedly.
Do you think he did it?
I think he was.
You think
I'm sprinkling as much of that in there just to cover, just in case. But allegedly, I think that the MLB will find nothing, and this will all be swept under the rug pretty quickly, and we'll never hear about it again.
I think it's the smartest thing the MLB could ever do. Now, if this was coming out with like Aaron Judge, I'd be the number one man screaming at the top of the buildings. Or if like Manny Machado was doing it, I'd be like, we got to ban these Padres. We got to send them all to Atlantis, kick them out into the ocean. Like I would be screaming, just like I did with Deflategate and the Colts.
I think the difference is Ohtani is not only just the face of the MLB in a lot of ways,
he's all of baseball
in the world at
Correct.
the moment. So seeing him get pulled down this quickly, I don't think the MLB is going to go for it.
This isn't the first time the world's biggest athlete caught in a gambling scandal. Michael Jordan was in such bad gambling debt, his father disappeared. Like, that's just a fact.
That's true.
That was in the documentary. It was like a whole episode. He was like, I'm going to go play baseball to, like, recover some of this money. Like, it was a whole thing. And then he played with the Looney Tunes, and then he came back and won 3 more championships. That's all documented history. Saying that, should I be worried once, like, if Ohtani's like, you know what, I've always wanted to play free safety? Like, should I start getting scared?
No, I don't think he'll go to that extent. The one thing that does make me interested in this is Ohtani has a very strange clause in his contract where if his interpreter got fired, he can opt out of his contract with the Dodgers from then on.
Ohtani, I am a Dodgers fan, but you have the chance to do the funniest thing.
He could literally go, you're going to investigate me for gambling? I'm going to take my ball and go home. And it would be
here's the thing.
Crazy.
Well, if he did just, and this would be ultimate death nightmare scenario.
Because they still have to give him the guaranteed money.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't.
It's guaranteed. So unless the league finds hard evidence,
even if he walks away from the contract,
if he walks away from the contract. Because it's guaranteed upon signing.
Oh, God.
Same as the Russell Wilson situation with the Broncos, where they cut him and he still owed money.
Oh, gosh. This is nightmare.
So that's what makes me think the Dodgers are not going to find anything. MLB is not going to find anything. Otherwise, you're on the hook for, close to $200 million.
They'll figure out a way. They always...
They'll figure it out, but it's also...
about sports owners, they do a really good job at not paying their players what they're supposed to be.
That's true. That's very true.
I believe in that fact.
But that's just...
Speaking about owners doing bad things to the players they like, or they're supposed to like, NFL banned some rules this week, didn't they?
They changed a couple big rules. One you're alluding to is the hip drop tackle.
There's 2 of them. There's a kickoff rule that happened today.
I like that one. I like the kickoff rule.
Let's start with the hip drop tackle. The hip drop tackle got banned today in the NFL, and here's my reaction to that. Why? You just want to take it away from us? I get it. I'm one of the guys that's like, let the offense have all the power. Sure. Anthony Richardson's my quarterback. I hope he never gets hit. That's a fact. Was a hip drop tackle kind of ensued on his shoulder thing? No, not at all. Not at all. He fell on that shoulder on his own. So will I now be screaming at the TV for hip drop tackles when that happens?
Constantly.
Every single time.
So, I'll explain the NFL rationale. What they've come out with is their big point is a hip drop tackle gives a 20 to 25% higher chance of injury than a normal tackle.
Yeah, sure.
So they're claiming under player safety, and then so that's their internal citing, and a big motivating factor is rugby has banned the hip drop tackle, and it's severely reduced the amount of injuries in rugby.
What? Wait, when did we start taking notes from rugby? When did we start becoming the followers of another sport less popular than us? Why are we should be instituting more hip drop tackles? Hip drop tackles should be the only legal way to tackle someone, other than grabbing them by their head and slamming them on the ground.
Just giving full suplexes.
I'm irate. Go.
So that's ridiculous. So that was the logic of the NFL. That's what they're citing but big flaws in that. One, rugby's not played at the same speed as football because no pads. So often those hip drop tackles was I grab the guy, I have time to set up, and then I lay him out that way. Mm-hmm. So that's why there was a very high shot of injury. These kinds of hits do not happen regularly in the NFL.
Never.
Very, very infrequent. Even the big one that a lot of fans were pointing to, the Mark Andrews one.
So I was going to ask you.
That's not a hip drop tackle, because if you watch Logan Wilson come in, he is sliding on one leg. Mm-hmm. Forward momentum pulls him up to trip up the feet and cause what looks like a hip drop tackle. And that's where I'm finding the biggest issue with this ruling. Is you've had multiple coaches and multiple owners, and they have done video footage going, hey, is this a hip drop tackle or is this not? Mm-hmm. And no one can seem to agree on an impartial, this is specifically this. There's just watching it once, very few people have been able to call it. The referees are screwed. There's no way this is going to be a judgment call.
Spot they could ever be in. and they have to learn it in like 4 months.
The only thing I could see the NFL doing, and I hope this happens, don't call it during the game. Let this be a Monday after the game review. If a player gets injured and you see it's a tackle like that, fine him, move on. Do not.
I would much rather my players be penalized than fined.
No, I'd rather that too. But I don't want
personally attacking their wallet.
No, it is. But I do not want this to be
I guess they get fined anyway, right?
They're going to get fined anyway if it's a unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get fined anyway. Just don't influence the game.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're going to enforce this rule, make it a after the game issue, because I guarantee you no ref is going to be able to call this properly during the game, and no fan after seeing the replay is going to agree with anybody, because it's such a weird specific ruling that they've defined this to be. That there's no objective way to tell.
So the NFL did another rule change today. Kickoffs are changing, which immediately Cordell Patterson got a contract right after.
Right after Steelers.
So now it's going to move to the XFL style, which is lining up a set of kickers, lining up a set behind the kicker, and lining up a set of blockers in a special zone. There is no one is allowed to run. They have to come to one location.
Yeah, they're lining up 10 yards apart, and then they're coming in.
And allowing the returner a green zone where they will be returning the ball, which in theory should allow for more explosive returns.
Well, it's not just more explosive returns. The big push right now is the XFL saw around 90% of kickoffs return for any kind of yards.
Which is, we all know in the NFL, like there's a bet in the NFL Super Bowl of like, will the kick go out of bounds? Like, that's a whole thing.
So this big one is the NFL last season saw only 10 or 15% of kickoffs ever taken out of the end zone at all. So they're trying to just increase the odds of that. That's the big push right now. That being said, I think that there's some bizarre rulings. The idea that the ball, if it doesn't go into within 20 yards of the end zone, the 20-yard marker to the end zone, if it doesn't, the team automatically gets the ball at the 40. If the ball, so that gets rid of all squib. There'll be no more squib kicks.
I think
they have now essentially gotten rid of the squib kick.
Yeah.
If the ball lands in the landing zone that they're calling that 20-yard gap, and then goes into the end zone, ball comes out on the 20. If it goes out the back of the end zone, or if it bounces in the end zone and goes out, ball in the 20. If you kick it and the ball is caught in the end zone and downed in the end zone, ball's on the 30. So now we have 3 different ball placement starts.
Gotcha.
Which is going to be kind of weird.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure people will start strategically like bending the rules and figure out what's the most optimal thing. We'll figure that out.
Oh, definitely.
It'll be just special teams are going to be on like week 1 when we're all like, damn, this is a weird way to start kickoff.
I think there's going to be a huge investment into special teams players this season because of this, especially returners.
Right off the rip, Cordell Patterson, gone.
So we might see the next Devin Hester soon.
Maybe. I mean, if you can rattle off like 3 or 4 kickoff returns in a season, you're already like a legend. So like, lock it in.
Exactly. I'm in favor of this though, because we are seeing a large, like the XFL saw a large reduction in player injuries.
Yeah, because it's such an explosive play, but like in a bad way. Like they are smashing into each other. It's just a part of me is like, damn, I kind of love the Devin Hester, Deion Sanders,
the look is
Patterson.
Yeah, the look is gone.
Those are always there though.
Yeah.
And, this can allow for more safe and explosive plays.
The one thing I'm interested in is if a team scores and gets a penalty on it, that affects the kickoff. Because remember in the past...
Onside.
Well, no, not even the onside kick. So remember in the past, like if there's a touchdown, but then there's a penalty after the play, of taunting, it would be, okay, we're just going to move the kicker back 5 yards, kick it, or 10 yards, kick it again, or do it on the kickoff, and they would still down it. Now that kicker has a real incentive to make sure that ball, it's going to make their job harder. So kickers should see competent kickoff kickers should see an increase in pay.
Question of the day today: is March Madness good, or is it just the closest thing to NFL Red Zone that we have? Me and you were talking about this earlier in the week. You like March Madness, but you're not. Let's go marching. Let's do all this March Madness craziness. Let me take a few days off. Let me sit down. Let me just only watch college basketball.
No, I enjoy it, but I think the big draw of a March Madness tournament is the volume. And I think that's what they're going for. personally.
It's more of like quantity over quality for you.
Yes.
Because a lot of my friends that watch only NBA basketball, they turn on a NCAA basketball game and they're like, this is unwatchable, this is bad. When really that's the closest to the purest form of basketball that we have. That is basketball.
Yes.
What the NBA plays is so far removed from the game of basketball.
Yeah.
But because it's so popularized, that's what people believe basketball is when they step onto a court. When really, people are supposed to be running screenplays. People are supposed to be running flare outs and elevators and stuff like that to real team movement, real team defense, yada, 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 whatever. I will say this. It is the only thing that makes me feel like it's red zone. When I'm watching March Madness and I'm locked in and there's 4 games on the screen and I'm worried about the next game and I'm trying to lock in my next bet and I'm trying to make sure this overhits and player props and yada yada, I do get like flashbacks of being like, wow, this is the witching hour. Like this is what
That's what it feels like.
I'm getting a taste, like it's drip feeding into my mouth, and it's the last time in sports that I get that.
No, even if it isn't the 4 screens on the same games going on the same TV. It's the idea of the volume that's there. It's the idea that you could constantly be switching between games, the gratification of that aspect. NHL's moved to that for their streaming.
Yeah, what is it called? The Frenzy or Frozen Frenzy?
Frozen Frenzy.
Yeah.
And then MLB has talked about doing that where you could watch multiple MLB games at once.
That would allow the MLB to be interesting and fun and cooperative with their fans. And they've made a very, very, very prominent statement to never do something like that.
That's true.
Yeah. They don't want to cater anything to the fans. Hell, I mean, today you bought the MLB package. Don, what city do we live in?
We live in LA.
Do we get LA? Do we get Dodger games? No,
we don't get home games.
We have to specifically buy Spectrum in order to watch these games,
which is just dumb. Yeah,
I have 6 different streaming sites,
which I'm okay with how the NFL Network does theirs.
Yeah.
Sunday Ticket. If you're going to black out the game, but it's on free TV, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't understand the idea of, hey, any streaming services, even the one directly through the league, does not get the game.
Cooked.
And you have to go buy another streaming service to get the game.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's terrible. It's a terrible business strategy.
It really is.
Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Bust Picks. We went through this quick. Like we said, we're going to keep the episodes a little shorter. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode. My name's Dio. That's Don. Remember, pray for the parlay.